Good morning to all of you here today, Pelham Road members, friends, guests, and family. Today is a special day for all of us. We have gathered to honor and celebrate someone we love, treasure, and admire, our forever pianist, Debbie Vaughan. What better place could I have chosen to talk about Debbie than right here at the piano Debbie has played so many Sunday mornings, so many Sunday nights, so many Wednesday evenings, touching the piano keys just as she has touched our hearts. And right behind me are these beautiful colors of the stained glass window. Colors of the stained glass window, which today, as I think about it, could well represent the varied colors of Debbie's life with us. Her always cheerful, positive outlook, her sweet spirit, her twinkling eyes, her beautiful smile, her unique laugh, her total faithfulness to God, and so many God gifts and talents. Bill, Lisa, Laura, and I, at the invitation of one of Bill's co-workers, came to Pelham Road in 1973 when it was still a mission church of an old, large downtown church, Central Baptist. Debbie's first Sunday as our pianist was April the 3rd, 1977, when her piano special was at Calvary. Looking back on her life, she could not have chosen a more appropriate piece because the cross and Calvary have been her home base since as early as she can remember. Debbie grew up in a fine Christian, love-filled, family-oriented home filled with love and laughter. It was God-focused and Christ-centered. Debbie was the oldest child of Orrin and Eunice Vaughan. There were two brothers whom she loved, born into that family, Ronald, the middle child, and Barry, the baby. One of my sweetest memories is of Eunice playing the piano and Orrin, Debbie, Ronald, and Barry all singing. All three children graduated from Furman. Debbie went into banking, taught private piano lessons, became a kindergarten assistant teacher, and was our church pianist. Ronald, known also as D, felt called into the ministry and became a beloved pastor and author. Barry started his future career working at the McAllister Chick-fil-A before graduating from high school. After college, he was hired by Chick-fil-A and became a guiding force in the corporate office in Atlanta, and he has recently retired. Orrin was Mr. Electrolux of Greenville, selling and repairing vacuum cleaners. When our vacuum cleaner got just too old to be repaired further, it still had Orrin's business sticker on it. He instilled a marvelous work ethic into all his children. Orrin and Eunice nurtured their three children in a true, genuine Christian environment. They went to church together. They studied the Bible and prayed together. The Vaughan family served well as Christian role models and how to do and be family. When Eunice's health deteriorated and she could no longer maintain her independent lifestyle, Debbie would leave her teaching job daily and head straight for the care facility, staying with Eunice until she fell asleep each night. She did the same thing on the weekends, pretty much with Eunice her entire days and into the evenings, with the exception of time spent playing for church on Sunday. Since neither brother lived here during that time, Debbie's daily presence in her mother's life gave her brothers peace of mind that they would not have had otherwise. At the care facility, Debbie became friends and encouragers to so many other residents and their families, brightening their lives with her upbeat, happy, helpful spirit. When Debbie became an aunt for the first time, her heart was stolen by that sweet Elizabeth. She loved Dee's and Barry's children as if her own, and still does. The life of a church pianist is demanding. Those who follow this path feel God's call and have a passion for music, especially church music. In the early years of Pelham Road, the pianist had to play for both morning and evening services on Sunday, play Wednesday night for prayer meetings, midweek choir practices, revivals, cantatas, special programs, as well as for weddings and funerals as needed. Debbie hardly ever had any free weekends except for vacation times. She willingly accepted this lifestyle because of the call she felt from God to serve right here. She has never wavered. Throughout the last 47 years of our friendship, ever so sweet, I have seen Debbie on the mountain peaks of happiness, and I have seen her in far too many valleys of despair, valleys which would have taken those with a shaky Christian faith to some very dark places. Her deep faith remained intact, regardless of where she was or what was happening. Across all the years of our friendship, I have seen Debbie deal with many health issues, serious, unusual, hard to diagnose, nothing ever simple. The most recent issues have dealt with an automobile accident she didn't cause, but lives with the results, suffers because of those results. Thus, her retirement from a job she loved and did so well, pianist at Pelham Road. Had that accident not occurred, in my heart of hearts, I think Debbie would have been at this grand piano until Gabriel blew that horn and escorted her to her true home. Debbie has always amazed me at how detailed she could be explaining medical issues, using words I'd have to practice to be able to pronounce. Everything was always factual and accurate, shared without becoming emotional. I am confident that you all can recall the story of Job in the Bible. So many tragedies, yet he never listened to his friends who advised him to curse God and die. Debbie has lived her life trusting in her Lord and Savior, knowing God himself is always with her. Not once in all these years have I ever heard Debbie express bitterness. Like Paul, who dealt with his thorn in his side, Debbie has acknowledged difficulties, but like Paul, she has moved forward, following in the footsteps of Jesus as best she could, totally dependent upon him for his undying support, his love, his care, his strength. Not only is Debbie Vaughan a marvelously talented musician, she is blessed with a compassionate heart, unending love for all people, and a reach out and let me help you spirit. All these qualities became evident in the care center where Eunice lived. Residents and their families were blessed and encouraged by Debbie because she became their friend, and as she tended to her own mom, because of her love and kindness, Debbie enriched their lives, giving the same tenderness she gave to her own mom to others who also needed a tender touch. We all have our own valleys. I have seen Debbie reach out to those in valleys by calling to check on them, by going to visit in the hospitals, by writing and sending notes of encouragement, by carrying food, by carrying gifts. Just a few of the ways Debbie has been God's servant apart from her piano bench. She totally understands and lives these words, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Faith, family, others. That's our Debbie. Since Debbie's life has always revolved around music, I selected a few songs which can tell you about Debbie's faith walk. Debbie has never boasted about her many talents nor any accomplishments in her life. She has always quickly and eagerly given God the glory for everything in her life, healing included. Thus the words of this song ring crystal clear. To God be the glory, great things he hath done. So loved he the world that he gave us his Son, who yielded his life an atonement for sin and opened the life gate that all may go in. At an early age, Debbie invited Jesus into her heart. However, I think Jesus has forever been in her heart and her life since birth. Debbie has received God's undying love for her and knows that love is for all. The second song is how Debbie has navigated the valleys, and its title speaks for itself. Where could I go but to the Lord? And Debbie Vaughan has done that, is doing that, and will forever go to her Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, thanking him for her many blessings and praying to him for his grace, his mercy, his healing when needed, knowing full well he is faithful. The third and last song has these familiar words. I stand amazed in the presence of Jesus the Nazarene and wonder how he could love me, a sinner, condemned, unclean. Debbie's amazement and love for the God of her life is still very much a part of her life. And here we are, all gathered to express our amazement of Debbie Vaughan as the pianist of Pelham Road, our pianist. So talented, so beautiful, so genuine, so faithful, so Debbie. Debbie, you have been the perfect one for us at Pelham Road. You have made God's heart happy each and every day as you have glorified him with your music, your words, your flawless character, your undying love for the one who gave you new life in him, and your very life a role model for others. As a congregation, as your church family, and as your personal family, as your friends, we say thank you, thank you, thank you for loving us, blessing us with your life, as you have enriched all our lives in so many ways. We loved you in all the yesteryears. We love you today. We'll love you forever. Debbie Vaughan, thank you.
Jimmy Carter was in the third month of his presidency. Elvis was not even dead yet, although he died 4 months later. And Evergreen by Barbra Streisand was the #1 Billboard hit. The year was 1977, and Pelham Road Baptist Church had only been constituted as a church for a year and a half. Joe Roberts was the interim pastor, and a young, vibrant, gifted musician named Debbie Vaughan joined the church staff as pianist on April 3rd of that year. Right about that time, because I just happened to be around in those early days and could sing loudly, I became the part-time minister of music when I was just a senior in high school. Look at me now. That's how long this has been. It has been a long time since I told that group that I had no formal musical training, and they said, "It's okay, we have Debbie." And I said, "Yeah, but I don't even know how to direct." And they said, "It's okay, just follow Debbie and make people think they are following you." And that's what I did for 5 years, and it worked out beautifully, just as long as I followed Debbie. During those years, as the church was getting its feet on the ground, there was quite a bit of change and transition. Debbie and I served together when Bill Marler was the pastor. Then Joe Roberts was interim pastor again, and then David Haney became pastor. But amid all the changes, transitions, and adjustments in those early years, Debbie was the constant, steady, committed, and talented pianist who kept the music ministry vibrant and together and growing. The church went through some lean years, and I remember some Sunday evenings when there were just a few people in the choir and they outnumbered the people in the congregation. But we had a great youth choir, we had a wonderful adult choir, and none of that would have been possible without Debbie's capable ministry at the piano. One of my most distinct memories was when Debbie played an arrangement of My Tribute by Dino Katsanakis. For a while there, that became her signature piece because it was so often requested by people in the congregation. And that's a very demanding arrangement for even the most accomplished pianist. But Debbie's fingers were all over that keyboard as she thrilled our congregation with that rendition and with many others. I'm not sure that even Dino himself could have played it as well as Debbie. But even though Debbie's musical abilities were outstanding, what I remember most about Debbie was not just what she could do, but who she was. Debbie was a devoted daughter to her parents. She was a wonderful sister to her brothers, and she was a faithful friend to so many of us through the years. Her dedication to Pelham Road Baptist Church for 46 years has been unparalleled, and there is no way to measure the impact she has made on this church for almost a half a century. Now, all these years later, our lives came full circle as Debbie and I were reunited in cardiac rehab. 46 years ago, in 46 years in church work will do that to you. It'll send you to cardiac rehab. Debbie, I want you to know that if I could be there in person today, I would be, to let you know how much I cherish your friendship and treasure the memories I have of working with you. I have always been amazed at the gifts God has given you and have always been grateful for your willingness to use those gifts in praise to Christ and in service to the church. As you enter this new season of your life, the Kartsanakas arrangement that you so beautifully played is still ringing in my ears and echoing in my heart, and the lyrics seem even more appropriate today than they did 46 years ago. To God be the glory for the things He has done.
Debbie, I'm sorry that I'm out of town this weekend, but I did want to leave you a few words. In the dictionary, next to the word thoughtful is a picture of you. From the way you tended to your mother, to the love you gave your students, to the concern you have always showed for your friends at Pelham Road, you have modeled for us thoughtfulness. You think of others and nurture others in the spirit of Jesus. I call to ask about you. You respond by asking about someone in the church that you know is struggling. You hear of someone who has aging parents, and you are the first to offer support and aid. We need someone to do a children's message, and you volunteer. Someone passes away, and you step forward to come and play. You have always been more than a pianist. Your faithfulness is unparalleled. Your love of others is inspiring. You are a minister of Christ-like love. You have seen Pelham Road and your friends at Pelham Road through so much. It will be hard not to have you at the piano, but we are comforted that you will remain as our friend and companion in our journey of faith. Blessings, and thank you for your service.